Hello everyone and welcome to our I Pick My Butt video. We're playing more Archero today and we're going to be playing Chapter 13, showing you how I completed it. And you may have noticed here this is a little bit different setup than we normally do. And we're just going to be kind of winging this today here, so hopefully this works well. If you guys like this kind of setup, like the videos like this, or if you want the black lines that shoot out both ways there, definitely post down in the comments. So one of the big first improvements for me is, you see, we got some glasses here. Yeah, right here, point to them correctly. Didn't realize how blind I was and what a difference that makes in playing the game if you can actually see it. But Chapter 13 is kind of known as one of the most difficult ones out there, especially with the tentacle boss. We did die on him on this video here, but we'll obviously post the other video at the end there of showing you kind of the techniques to use if you want a little bit more of a flawless run. Now the gear that we are using, here's Helix here. And for him, we are running, I think he's level 66. There's the stats of him. We get the max hit points for all characters. We get the healing effect and then the crit damage for all characters. We are running with the bow at the moment. That is a perfect epic level 50. And Phantom Cloak, that is going to be the next one there. Also perfect epic level 50. And I switched over that because that really seems to be a big help having when an enemy strikes you, it's actually going to freeze them. And this is really crucial on the tentacle boss because as he hits you, even if the small tentacles hit you, the little ones are going to still remain, and then he's going to pop up frozen. So it's a good way to get some shots in there. Kind of screws up the animations a little bit also. Now for rings, we are using the Serpent Ring number 1. That is max perfect epic. And also the Falcon Ring is the other one, level 50 perfect epic. The reason why I'm using the Falcon Ring is it is currently the ring that I have at the moment that is leveled up all the way. I do have a Bear Ring and also, whatever the other one is, I can't remember it. But they're both leveled, they're both perfect epic. I just don't have them to level 50 yet. I've been wasting all my coins on using the sapphires and healing up like that. As far as pets, as much as I did complain about the elf in the video, I do kind of like it. And if I had the choice, I would be using 2 perfect epic bats, but we don't have those yet either. So that's why you're seeing the elf and the scythe mage. Did I say it right? I really wanted to say scythe there, but we're using those. So going into the first 10 levels here, I'm playing a little sloppy. I'm not really too concerned at all about taking hits or anything because I know I am going to get that health back just from killing enemies and actually getting it from the chest at the end too. And with Helix, as you know, every 1% of hit points you go down, you do go up in 1.2% damage. So, like I said, if I take some hits, not really a big concern. And I do apologize if I'm a little nasally right now. I am sick. I really wanted to get this video out, and I did want to try to play with this. Because when you're homesick, you just got to, do something. And I beat Archero, so I can grind the levels on there. Might be streaming later, just to kill some time also. But really, I try to make it where if I can get through the first 20, 30 levels without having to grab the heal from the angel, that's kind of what I go for a good run on things. Now, obviously, things like multi-shot and double front arrow are going to be crucial on this. Invincibility Star is one that I always like to try to get to, but I think this one was more of stacking up on the attack. So if you are a fan of Meowgic, that is going to be a good solution to use versus Helix. There you see the Invincibility Star. Now this character here is going to have 3 attacks. That's the first one. He's going to do his jump. That's the second one. And the third one is right there. Now whenever he launches that ball, I try to stay somewhere on the left or the right side of the screen. And I always try to go clockwise compared to his attack. It's not always perfect for me. I'm not really too concerned about getting a flawless death on this. But you can kind of see how they're going clockwise. If you go clockwise with them, you usually have a good shot of missing them altogether. But really, though, this is not going too bad, and we're about to wipe him out, pretty soon here. So, if I had to say, he's probably, I'd probably call him the second easiest boss you're going to face inside this. You can see here, we're grabbing Giant. We lucked out on that. A lot of people are saying that Giant is not good, but it really does give a good buff to everything. Even though now my hitbox is a little bit more, I do like it, and in the runs that I am using, that Giant seem to go a little bit better for me. So the guys that shoot the 4 balls in a row here, they can be a little bit of a pain, especially you'll find like that right there. They tuck inside the walls. just be patient. Don't go running up against them or trying to get close to them. Always keep your distance. They'll pop out eventually. If it's the last one, who cares if you're waiting that extra second or two to kind of go through things. And I was amazed of how much these little spider guys are just a huge pain in the neck. They have a ton of hit points on them, and occasionally they'll come through and they will do a collision bash on you, which means you're taking a hit. So if you can, as much as you think, these guys are old, I've seen them before, do try to focus on them and get rid of them. So we are using the frozen bracelet. You can see there that some of the characters are freezing. And that's what I'm talking about right there. They just come up right on you, start bashing you, and you can see we don't have a lot of room to go with anyways. But back to what we're saying, we're using that frozen bracelet, and I don't think I actually showed those. We stopped right at the pets themselves. So frozen bracelet here. Yeah, I feel a burp coming on. We'll blame that being sick. Freezes 3 to 5 enemies for 1.8 seconds. That really seems to be helping out. And this is not something I'd ever recommend using on Chapter 11 because obviously those guys that disappear and reappear, that could really make a hard time for us. But the big thing that I've switched over to is going from the Agile Locket, we're now using the Angel Locket. And if you saw the video the other day, we did have 5 lives, 4 revives in there. 2 of those were from using this Angel Locket altogether. So pretty cool in general. Now these guys, the Dragonflies, they're not too bad. They'll pop up and really, I try to get them at least right away when they're far away from you. They're not really high hit point characters, but if they do get close to you and that spits in another area, it could hit you. You're really going to take a good amount of damage, and like I said, use the walls to your advantage. Try to kill them quick. Try to kill them from the distance. A lot of this, though, is just kind of playing it smart and just making sure that it's a close one right there. Playing it smart, just kind of take your time with it. A lot of times when I'm doing this, I'm distracted by the TV in the background, or I'm rushing through, For some reason, this was my second try for the day, and I was sick too, so the other thing I might equate to this on top of the glasses is the Robitussin or the NyQuil, whatever I was hyped up on at the time, so that might have just mellowed me down a little bit and take some of the edge off. You get anxious, the adrenaline starts pumping through. So we'll grab the multi-shot here, which is going to make a huge difference. Now, this is probably the second hardest boss, I would say, on top of the tentacle boss here. And it's mainly because of those fires. That's going to be the one. The second one, he spawns those dragonflies, and there's really no set spot where they're going to spawn. Sometimes they will spawn up on top of you, but learn that right there. Just got right on top of us. Wasn't even expecting it. Luckily, I don't think we took the hit on it. But really, you just got to watch out for him doing that bolting blast, and then obviously the fireballs coming at you too. So I'm always trying to just wait for that fireball to kind of spot. You can kind of learn the animation of him going and doing that jolt at you. And if you get that down, he won't be too bad. But just like the tentacle boss too, there is moments where he just kind of sneaks up on you, gets those couple of hits. Level 40 of playing this guy is just absolutely terrible. So try to get rid of those ads, same as I was saying before through the regular levels there. Get rid of them. And I think we're going to have to take this. We'll take the front arrow, take the health dodge. I am going to try to cut out. I always play the game and then I go and I try to say after each level, let me make sure I'm still screen recording. So, like I said, guys, this is my first time using this setup on here. We're using DaVinci Resolve. It's going to be the other thing that we're using for the editing. So it may not be as perfect and smooth as I normally would do, like when I'm using my mobile phone and using KineMaster. But we got the mic here. Figure, what's better than hearing my nasally voice than to see my nasally face on top of it? And up to this point, things can start to get a little tricky going through the 20s, but really the hard part comes is when we get into the level 30s and beyond, because that's when those tentacles will pop up right underneath you. Instead of just popping up and doing, the shooting in 5 different directions in their spin, they're going to go and pop up, immediately do that spin, shoot in a couple of different directions like you're facing the boss himself. So you can see there we're still grabbing, once again, the power up versus the heal at the angel, which is very cool. I'm liking the way this run is going, and you can really see how fast we're dropping them with having the multi-shot, the double front arrow, and it just seems to go smooth. So the times when you don't have that, it really seems like killing these enemies takes longer, and that's where if you can find the moments to really stack some attack on it, attack's going to make them go quicker, which means there's going to be less chances that they can hit you. And what I try to do with these guys is I learn that the tentacles have a kind of 5-shot star pattern on them, and I try to always remember that when I'm going up against them. I do listen for the noises that they make of the swish noise. You're not going to hear it in here because it won't let me throw the audio on. But I'm constantly looking on the screen. They have the only animation for having those kind of things going around on them. So there we go right there. This guy is probably another easy boss. You just got to watch the ones that kind of go left and right and up and down. And I try to kind of move out of the way just to take a little peek. Make sure that there's one not right underneath me. Because the big blobs, those are easy to dodge. The ones he shoot at you, those aren't bad. The trickiest part is those up and downs. There we go. All right, so now we're back in it there. That was a long delay. My wife asked me to get something, so I had to go and cut that clip out. Hopefully I was able to. But I was just sitting there for a minute waiting for this thing. Like, what was I doing when I was playing this game? But things are getting a little crowded here, and like I said, this is where the game really kicks off, and this is what you'll hear people complain about on top of the tentacle boss, is those level 30s and so on. So we'll just go try to get rid of that spider. Invincibility star is huge. You got to constantly keep on moving on these things. Don't underestimate those guys that shoot the red meteors onto you. That's another pain in the butt, and they hit hard also. So whenever I get in, I try to kind of just, if I don't have the shield, try to make a quick move right away so they're not locking onto me. And really, this is going kind of nice. Just being patient. I'm not going to run up on these guys and do anything stupid. Just got to constantly keep a cool on this, because if you know as well as I do, if you made it this far, you're like, oh my god, I normally die at this point. So it's a good feeling to have. You saw the tentacle there, and bam, they're just popping up right on us. So the second you see them, move out of the way if you can, and hopefully try not to move too far away where you can still lock onto them and get the kill. So hit point boost. I'm a huge fan of hit points. It's something that's definitely needed inside this. And there we go again. We got that. We're high on heal. We just got another ability. Tentacles popping up underneath us. And really, like I said, watch that kind of star length. We just took a smack there. That's some good crit on things. But really, this took me a lot of finesse, and I don't know how many times I actually played this. I'd probably say over 100 times of going this, especially with the tentacle boss himself. He was a huge pain in the butt. Now, the worst thing you could ever have in this, facing the tentacle boss, is when you go into level 40 and run into him there, because now he has so much hit points. He's doing like 3,000 damage. More tentacles here. Notice how you could see the animations ahead of time. You know, we're down the bottom, but you don't see you see the animations. You know they're coming. That's going to be a clear sign that you know you need to move. Like, I should have moved a lot quicker there, a lot quicker there, although it didn't really hurt us too bad. But the second you see those things floating on the screen, just say, okay, I know I need to at least move a couple of steps. Really shouldn't be an issue. But I don't know. Maybe you guys got some tips for the tentacles themselves. They tend to be a pain, and I know a lot of people complain about them. So here we are going into the fourth boss now, and this is the nightmare I was saying. We're on the tentacle boss. 3,680 damage he's going to do. And notice how I do that kind of zigzag through, and then at the last second, we're going to try to turn away. So if I could do that every single time, zigzag, and then turn away. But you saw how he popped up there. That was kind of new for me using the Phantom Cloak. We take a hit, he pops up, so that's a good time to get some hits on him. Like I said, we did need to take the heal here. I was not expecting it at all, but that's okay. I wonder what I'm hearing in my house. Something in the background. All right, and we're back. You saw we died there, which was no bueno. But we're going to navigate through, try to watch out for him, and luckily for us, I don't know how it's possible, we got the double on this, and they gave us the extra life. So it's not even like we really died there. Call me lucky if you want, but I'm going to take it. You know, a revive from the extra life is 10 times better than the locket itself. And man, we just took a huge hit there on that. That really sucked. But the locket, when it does heal you, I've been told it goes and gives you whatever health you had before you got hit. And they'll give you that second of being invincible. Depending on the level you have, it might be 2 or 3. But it's definitely a locket worth having, especially knowing what dodge does now. We'll take the attack here, which is going to bring us in. And this is like where the anxiety really kicks up on me. It's like, oh man, I've made it to the 40s. This is just, it's hell for you right here. So play it smart. It's the best thing I can keep on telling you. Don't get overwhelmed on it. Because, you know, at this point, for another week or so, this is the last final board, and people I know are struggling on this. Although some are saying that Chapter 11 was harder than 13. I'm not 100% certain on that. I thought that this was a lot harder, but really different strokes for different folks. And we'll get rid of this guy. And like I said, those meteors, if you're not paying attention, they will catch you and they will hit you. So, which is kind of obvious pick, right? But we're just working our way around, trying to be safe. If I could get that guy first, that would have been nice, but I'll take it. So we're going in, and now we're obviously going to grab the heal on this because it is going to be needed. Although it was kind of a tough pick. You know, geez, do I take the attack? I was really loving the attack build on this because guys are dropping fast. Move out of the way of that. Watch out, and thank God that bubble popped in right there because that's really going to help us. But you kind of learn the animations of all the characters, and that only comes with really playing the game. So the more you play, the better you're going to be at it. Don't give up hope. Keep on leveling up your guy, and that's really the most you need to do on this. As far as gear itself, I know a lot of people are saying that the ring should be different. I'm just using whatever the max I have, and I'm trying to steer away from that dodge build, knowing how things are with the dodge additives, or multiplicative additives, however you want to say it. I try not to say big words anymore because you see what happens. So now we're really getting close, and like this is a point where my hands start shaking on me and stuff. And up to this point, I probably made it to the final boss like 3 times. And man, they're crouching in on us. But made it to the boss 3 times. Every time I seem to get a little bit further with it, which is even, you see a video on there on how to beat it. It doesn't compare to your, first time actually engaging it. Because whatever you watch just goes right out the window for me. It's like, oh shoot, I'm in panic mode. And stuff gets really rough on it. So we'll go here, and then we got this last one. There should hopefully be a chest, and it's like, oh man, they got to throw tentacles here, if anything. We took a hit, 2 hits. Ouch. That stinks. But hopefully we'll get enough health from this chest here. We'll just do that to be safe. Get rid of it first. I like to wait for that chest to get fired last, just so we can, have as much as possible. And now we're going into the final boss. So big things is 3 attacks. This is going to be the first one. He jumps and launches the fire, and that's the one that usually gets me. When he shoots these beams out, this is a good time to get the attacks, and then he does his slashes and slices. And actually, I believe there's a 4th attack, too, on it, because he's going to do the clapping of the hands right here and shooting that. So try to make a couple of steps. Keep on moving. You see with how much attack that I actually have on this, how much that's really helping me. Last time I played him, I was running as much as I can as he was shooting those 5-6 different beams. There's our free life that we got. So if I didn't get that, that could have been dead if it wasn't for the angel locket, because I think that was the last hit I took. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Leave some comments down in the below, and remember, I pick my butt.